The task at a Band 3 level is a complete failure. The student did not understand the essay question. They wrote an essay on a topic that does not relate to what the essay question is asking. This would include students that write a discussion essay when they should have written an argument essay, or students that presented their argument at the beginning of their essay when they were asked to analyze the opinions of others. These are the kinds of essays that fall into a Band 3 level. Okay, now let's go up the chart. We'll skip 4 and we'll go directly to 5. Now 5 is an essay that employs cohesive devices. So they are using phrases such as this shows, or as is clear from this. These sorts of phrases are being used, but they're being used incorrectly, and they're being used incorrectly quite often. So for example, a student that writes "on the other hand." Now this is a phrase that is used in English to show an opposite, or to show an extreme, based on some information given before. A student writing at a Band 5 level will have noticeable spelling errors. Their simple sentences might be accurate, but anything that's a little bit longer than a simple sentence will be incoherent and will be very, very difficult to understand. Okay. Band 5 level, the complex sentences, difficult to understand, the meaning is impeded, the examiner has to think for a period of time to understand what the student is trying to say. Now, the difference between a 5 and a 6. At a 6 level, the task is completed. So the student did recognize the IELTS exam question correctly, and they provided a response that is reasonable, that does answer the question to some extent. There may be some details or examples that are inaccurate, or perhaps do not completely support the overall argument, but overall the task and the arguments being presented are understandable. At a Band 6 level, cohesive devices are used more accurately. So linking phrases are employed somewhat with skill. Both simple and complex sentences are again used with more accuracy. Now, a key to remember when we go on to the Band 7 level, and the difference between a Band 6 and a Band 7, is that a Band 6 may have some small errors, but the errors do not completely impede the meaning from being understood by the reader. So if you remember, at a Band 5 level, when the reader reads these sentences, when your examiner reads these sentences, at a Band 5 they may not quite understand what you're talking about. So there's enough mistake in the sentence to impede the meaning. Now at a Band 6 level, there may be some mistakes in the sentence, but the meaning can still be understood by the examiner. Okay, now let's go on to a Band 7. Band 7 writing, the argument is sound. It is supported well. The details given are quite accurate. Cohesion is used properly, and very few instances of cohesion being used incorrectly. There may be some overuse of cohesion, or perhaps some areas where the cohesion is somewhat repetitive, maybe, but overall the cohesion is sound and flows quite fluently when your examiner reads it. A Band 7 level student will write frequently error-free sentences. So there will be a number of sentences in the essay that do not have any grammatical or punctuation or choice of vocabulary errors. The errors that are present in a Band 7 level are quite minor, and they are remote, which means that they're not very common. They're not in every single sentence. Okay, moving up to a Band 8 level. Now, Band 8 writing, the majority of the sentences are error-free. The essay reader may still be able to distinguish that the writer of this essay is not a native speaker. But overall, the essay has very, very minor mistakes and very few errors in choice of vocabulary and choice of cohesive phrases. The task is answered flawlessly. So there is a complete answer given, a direct answer to what the essay question is asking, and extra information or details and examples presented support what is being argued or what is being analyzed completely. This is what constitutes a Band 8 writing level. Now, going up to the band that everyone wants to achieve, Band 9. Band 9 writing is, as you can expect, flawless. There is very, very, very few instances of mistake. And you might not be able to see it, but as they define it here, they call them slips. And slips are basically small mistakes that even happen to a native English speaker. So for example, perhaps a very small spelling mistake, or a maybe the one area where a comma is missing. There's very, very, very few mistakes at this level. Now, the difference between a Band 9 and a Band 8 is that when reading a Band 9, the examiner would have difficulty distinguishing this writing level from an essay written by a native English speaker. So the level of English written at a Band 9 is comparable to that written by a native English speaker. I hope that video was somewhat helpful to you. Thank you for listening, and good luck on your exam.